Hello, everybody, and welcome to the I'm So Tiffany show, where I'm your host, Tiffany Ross. And on this week's show, we are talking about the theme of Bobbi Kristina versus your own depression. On this week, I would like to welcome my very special guest with me, and her name is Amani. Please help me welcome her this evening.
Hi,
Say hello, beautiful. How you doing, boo?
I'm good, girl.
Glad to have you on the show. I'm well, thank you. I hope you guys are well at home. So I'm sure everyone has been listening and watching to the news of Bobbi Kristina, and while very tragic, it also spiked a certain interest within me because I feel like other than Bobbi Kristina, there are so many young women out there, young and old, I'll say, that are very depressed. And I feel like I saw a very interesting comment on Facebook the other day, and I won't quote his name because I didn't get his permission to, but I love that he said in his status, there are so many of you who are praying for Bobbi Kristina, but you don't even pray for your own family members.
That's true.
Let that sink in. And I think that's real. I think so many times these celebrities are down and out and we focus so much on them, but what about the people like our next door neighbors who are down and out? Or what about the one who is down the street who ends up committing suicide that nobody even talks about because they're not a celebrity? I feel like that's really not fair, and I think we need to pay more attention to other people. So on this week's show, I really want to deal with depression. Is that all right?
Yes.
Okay, so my first question for you is, have you ever had a time in your life when you really felt down and out? And if so, how did you deal with it?
Oh, yeah, like my freshman year of college, like I was really depressed. And I think like everybody kind of goes through that depression because, you know, you're away from home. You don't have mom's home cooked meals like you used to. Like sometimes you have to live with somebody that you can't stand. Like that's when you start first cussing in college. Like, what is wrong with beep? But you know, I got over it. It was a lesson.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so you think it was like your freshman year of college, and so would you say before that you never really had a time where you felt depressed, or you're pretty much okay before that? That's really good. There's only like one time. There's so many people I talk to, they're like, girl, there was that one time when I lost my boyfriend, there was other time when I lost my cat. Oh, did I forget to mention the time my grandpa died? And then they're like, oh my God, my car went off into the lake, and they got 100 different reasons and times in their lives when they have been depressed. So I am just impressed to hear that she's only had one major time in her life, which was a transitional time of going to college. And I think we've all been there. And if you haven't, you should think about going. And now the president is actually going to allow us very soon. You can actually go for the first 2 years at a community college for free. I do believe they're working on that. I don't know if it's officially passed yet, but please look into that. Get your college education. Please, I beg you, you need it. And on that note, she's graduating this year. Can you guys help me congratulate her? Say woo woo.
Thank
Turn
you.
up for the graduation. So proud of you.
Thank you.
So my next question, what are your thoughts on Bobbi Kristina? I mean, what do you really think about it? Because I know what I think about it, but I just want to know, what do you think about it?
Right. I mean, it's really sad. I was really shocked when I first found out. I was like, you know, and then I think it's even more like traumatizing because she's kind of like in the same predicament as her mom, like in the whole bathtub thing. But I'm just praying that she gets better. You know, it seems like there's been some talk about, you know, her not waking up. But I found this quote. Well, I saw this quote on Instagram.
Please share.
And it was like, you know, everybody thinks that she's not going to wake up. But, you know, what we call a coma is really her probably having a conversation with her mom. And when she gets done, then she's going to wake up. So I figure that's really positive. Like, that's really deep.
Yeah. I think that I remember reading that. I think I read that the other day, and I remember saying that is an interesting thought. Not completely sure how I feel about it. I tend to get a little nervous when we start talking about relating with people in other realms and spiritual realms. I tend to stay away from those topics. I know we all have our different views, but I personally try to shy away from that. And then there's always the whole, I think people are so quick to say, oh, rest in peace, rest in heaven, and all of that. But we really don't know where she's going, and we don't know if she's going even now. We don't know. So I think it's best that we leave these topics alone and we leave it for God to decide. That's what I think. That's just what I think. And I also hear that there's talk of taking her off of life support, even as of up until just a couple hours ago. I did see an article, because we are right here in Georgia where all of this is taking place. And I did just see an article where they are considering to take her off of life support. They are telling the family basically to just give up on her and make funeral arrangements. I personally just feel like it's really devastating. I wish that someone had, gotten a hold of her before she got to this point. There's also been talk of possibly that she was drugged. No one really knows the truth at this point, but I do know that it reminds me so much of a couple people who I knew in the past who also struggled with depression. And I find that a lot of times, especially when they're going through a grieving period, I think we have to be respectful of that. I understand that there was a movie that just came out about Whitney just a couple weeks ago on Lifetime, and maybe she just wasn't ready for that. I think we have to give people time to grieve. Yeah. I know if I had just lost my mother, and I don't care if it was just a year ago, 2 years ago, I don't care if it was 3 years ago, please don't make a movie about my mama. Please give it about 20 years, okay? I really need to make sure I'm okay. And I think sometimes we're just not sensitive enough to somebody else's needs, and I think we have to be very sensitive. Do you agree?
I do.
Okay, I agree. Thank you.
I think maybe that could have been a trigger.
Yeah,
the movie.
Totally. It was just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
She probably didn't have time to process what was going on. That's really what I think. I think it was just too soon. I really do. What advice do you have for women like Bobbi Kristina who might be struggling with depression or having trouble getting over something? Like, what is your advice for those women?
Oh, I think communication is key. Like, you should definitely talk about it, because the more you keep it like bottled up inside of you, the worse it gets. Yeah. So whether it's like a friend or like a family member, like a hotline or something, like they just need to like get it out. Just talk.
I totally agree. I think sometimes it's hard to talk when you're feeling like you don't really know how to express yourself. I know at times when I used to get depressed, it was really hard because I kind of have one of those personalities where I'm known for being bubbly and really sweet and overzealous. And so I feel like I almost wasn't allowed to be a human being. Has anyone else ever felt like that? I used to get so frustrated if I couldn't be myself, meaning let my guard down. So sometimes I would just look sad when I came to work, or I would look a little down, and people are like, no, you're not supposed to be down. Like, you're the reason I smile every day, or now it's going to be a bad day because Tiffany's having a bad day. Like, why do I control your day? That's a problem. I need you to be in control of your own day, because sometimes Tiffany is having a bad day, and that needs to be okay. Is that okay? I'm just saying. So I used to feel like I couldn't have a bad day. So I don't know if some of you experience that out there. You feel like people need you to hold it together, or you feel like you just have this certain persona that people perceive you as. You're not allowed to grieve or to have normal feelings or emotions. It's okay. And I feel like women get criticized for being over emotional. Do you feel like women get criticized for that?
All the time.
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, well, women are emotional creatures.
We are.
But, everyone is different. Yeah. I think that is something that we should not be judged on, because
you hear that, ladies?
As a human being, that's like our right.
Yeah. Totally. And I tend to think that this is just how we were created. I think men and women are just different by nature. That's how we were created. And I think we should be respected as that. And I don't think it should be looked at as a crutch or something that's negative against us as women. I think guys are always like, oh, you're too emotional. Suck it up. Oh, I'm sorry. This is just who I am. Sorry about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's totally how I feel. So if you could just tell me a little bit in detail. Well, first, let's explain to them what's going on. I don't know if you guys know yet, but if you don't, I'm going to let you know that Amani has come out with her own magazine, and I really want you guys to support her, because I think it's a beautiful concept. Not too many people have enough courage to come out with their own magazine. So please tell us how you got started, what sparked it, what inspired you, where did the thought come from? Did you go to sleep and have a dream? I mean, what happened, and how did you get to where you are now?
Girl, let me tell you, it's a long story.
Okay, we're listening.
About a couple of summers ago, I interned at this bridal magazine.
Okay.
And I was just so excited. I was like, oh, this is my dream. Because I like to write. I want to be a journalist. So I ended up getting fired. She fired me because I didn't have a car. So my best friend would drive me back and forth. And so the one time I couldn't make it, she fired me through email. She was like, yeah, sorry. So basically, I started a blog.
Okay.
It was like Amani magazine blog. Like,
okay.
I was gonna do fashion and beauty. I was gonna be like this beauty guru, like on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, why don't I just make a magazine? Like,
right.
Why work for somebody when I can just
do it yourself?
Create my dream. Yeah. So that's how it was started.
Wow. And then were you scared? I mean, did you have any reservations about it, or was it something you were just so excited for and you're like, I'm gonna do this?
I was really excited. I mean, I was kind of nervous at first. I was like, how am I gonna get this printed?
Yeah.
Like, how am I gonna do this? Who's gonna read it?
Right. Don't laugh. It's okay. You're totally okay. She's obviously a little nervous, folks. So if you are at home, I need you to just stretch your hand forward to the computer and say, it's okay, boo. Everybody say it with me now. It's okay, boo. It's okay. So we're going to move on to another question because she got a little nervous. So I need you guys to be patient with us, okay? Everybody gets a little nervous behind the camera, even me, okay? And I'm the host. So I need you guys to bear with us. I also want you to tell me a little bit about, well, here is her magazine. I don't know if you guys can see that too well. It's a nice, beautiful young lady on the cover. And I'm just so proud of her. It's called the Amani magazine. And there's some very interesting topics inside of here. And even she's trying to even help you. If some of you are interested in being beauty bloggers, I was so intrigued by the fact that she has a page dedicated just for you. So if you're interested, you should totally contact her. She will totally assist you with your beauty blogs. Also, ladies, how many of you love H&M like I do? Hey, now. There's some really nice outfits, some very nice sequin outfits that if you're looking for something really nice to wear for Valentine's Day, she has some really beautiful outfits laid out in here for you, as well as the websites to get them at. If you could just tell us a little bit more about the CG design group, maybe tell us a little bit about that. And then I was hoping that you could tell everybody about the new wonderful design of, I think it's called like the fish look for the fish braid. Is that what it's called?
Oh, the fishtail.
Yes. Please tell everybody about it. I'm in love with the fishtail, y'all. I can't do it yet, but I'm in love with it. Please tell us about it.
Okay, so I just want to start off by saying that all of our photos are not photoshopped.
Okay.
Because we believe in pure beauty, and I know that a lot of girls can get confused and, all these stereotypes get into play, and, but yeah, so I think that that's very important because we use real people.
Yes.
Like, not fake people, because, who's fake out here?
Right.
We keep it 100.
Yes.
Yes. But, yes, so the hot trend for the spring is, braids. Having braids in the hair, put in, like, accessories like flowers and, like, bows. So the fishtail is basically a reverse braid.
Okay.
Instead of using 3 strands of hair, you use like just 2, and you just intertwine, and it looks like a fishtail at the end.
It's totally beautiful, guys. You definitely have to try it out. Feel free to hit her up personally. She'll walk you through it step by step on how to do it. Can you please just let them know how to contact you if they want to advertise in the magazine? Can you please just walk them through that? Sure.
So basically, guys, if you're interested in advertisement or you want to be featured in the magazine, just email me at amanmagazine@yahoo.com, and it'll be down below in the description box for you guys. So please, help me help you.
Yes, please support her. As you guys can see, we are rocking the Amani magazine shirts together. Don't we look lovely? I think so. If you would like a shirt, please contact her as well. You can send her an email, and I'm sure she'd be happy to get you a shirt. Feel free to order some for your church, your retreats, whatever.
Yes, we're going to have new designs coming out in March.
We do. Yes. Sounds good. And then also, if they want to subscribe to your magazine, how should they go about doing that?
You can go to to amonmagazine.com. We have all the magazines uploaded there, along with blog posts, and we have like everything to keep you updated on beauty and fashion. So
Wonderful.
just hit that up.
Sounds great. Well, I hope that you guys have enjoyed listening tonight. And once again, to all my Bobbi Kristina lovers, let's just continue to join in prayer for her. Let's hope that she gets better. But whatever the will is, we just pray that the family will be okay either way. And also, I really just want to encourage you guys to reach out to maybe a family member, to someone maybe you haven't spoken to in a while. I was on the phone with someone the other day who was telling me that they were basically estranged from their family member. And so that's very dangerous, because sometimes a car accident can happen. That person can end up in the hospital. I personally went through this myself, where I was harboring unforgiveness against a relative, and I had to release them because it got serious. She ended up getting very sick, and it scared me because I knew that I hadn't forgiven her. So you have to forgive. You really have to. And it's not about if you're just a Christian or whatever your faith is, it doesn't matter. I encourage you to just forgive people. So I just wanted to end this video by saying, find somebody you don't like and forgive them. And even my son is agreeing with that right now. You guys can hear him in the background. He just had a moment. And sometimes we cry and we holler. We don't want to forgive the person, but we really need to. So even my son was feeling that. And he even demonstrated how we feel sometime, right?
That's right. Out of the mouth of babes.
Yes. Wisdom speaks. On that note, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the I'm So Tiffany show, where I was having a lovely guest host, Amani. I really appreciate her for being here. Thank you so much for coming. This will not be the last time we see you. You will be on the show again. And you guys, please support her. If you want your business in this magazine, which you do, because this magazine is going to be hot all over the Georgia area, please contact her immediately. And you guys have a good night. Signing off. Bye, loves.